Welcome back, everyone. It's a bit of a treat, not really. This is actually from yesterday, last night. I put some hot water inside, so it feels like new, or almost. Anyways, let me quickly show you the updates, where we are. This is gonna be a little bit funny. Let me just put the battery charger on. Now, this is gonna get a little bit loud because we don't have exhaust on that turbo, right? Everything is complete, but no exhaust. Now, all right, I will show you the results first and then how we did it, and I'm gonna talk about quickly because I don't want this to be too long. So, that's a gauge, aftermarket gauge out of the OBD, so we know everything works. All right, there you go. Now we have the dash. On the dash you can see the oil gauge, the battery gauge, check light, and your engine management light. Now, you see what the engine management light did? Did the check, came off, and then it came up again. That's because it's working. And I don't have a genuine sensor on this car behind it, purposely to make a trick, to make it go in order, because I want to show you that the ECU communicates with the dash now. The original Volkswagen ECU communicates with the Toyota dash. So everything works. This is all compliant with the rules. You can do MOT, no problems. You will do the checks, and if you have any problems with the engine, or you have any problems with the sensors, like we just simulated, the engine management light will go on. The other side is that the OBD plug works completely fine, no problems. We actually had a diagnostics yesterday already there. And aftermarket OBD2 gauges work, so we have full communication. And now the funny part is that this is what I was working with for the last few days. Now, it doesn't seem much. It looks like a massive, huge mess of wires, and it is, because I was changing a couple of things and I added a couple of other things. For example, everything has to work standard, so you put a reverse, and we have reverse lights on. Now, they're small things, but they have to be functional, you know. Everything has to work the way it's supposed to be. Like I say, factory. Now, besides the factory stuff, what I wanted to add, it was a couple of things. We have the signal inside the wiring from the gearbox to plug back straight into the ECU, so the ECU knows the speed of your diff. Now, once the ECU knows the speed of your diff, it can calculate that against the crank speed, and it knows exactly in which gear you are. It's like, okay, why does it matter? Well, it matters because if you want to go full performance, if you want to play with these engines, because they have so many options and they're very good for performance, you can do boost by gear. So each gear can have a different amount of boost, different boost map. Also, there's another wire that again is not connected as a standard because it's optional, but it's there, it's going to be labeled. That is a clutch switch. So the ECU knows when the clutch is pressed or depressed or has anxiety. Stupid joke. Anyways, a clutch with anxiety. Fuck me. I can't laugh because of my ribs. Shut up. Stupid. Yes, why you need a switch? Fuck's sake. Oh, I can't. I got cracked ribs from the last crash, and every time I laugh is a pain. I can't sneeze because then it's like stabbing pain. Anyways, good I don't have a hay fever anymore. The clutch switch, the anxiety one. You need that one if you want to do launch control, because if the ECU knows the position of the clutch, you can do a proper launch control. So you can have a launch control, you can have boost by gear, and then eventually also working on the traction control. But I'll let that Steve playing with that because I don't have a time. I've sorted this out. I've promised this is gonna be shown step by step how to. And yes, everyone who's gonna buy obviously our kit or engine mounts and all that stuff is gonna receive the how to step by step wire that engine into the Matu, that everything works like standard, like factory, like you seen just now. Not as loud, hopefully, but there you go. So I think that's it. I'm gonna work on this afternoon after lunch, because before lunch I have to do something very quickly, very important. I'm gonna show you in a minute what. But this one, yeah, I'm gonna label that up. Everything is written down. Everything is done, signed. Every single plug, every single wire, every single pin out. So that's all finished finally. Now we crack today on building these two wiring loops for these two customers finally. But again, these jobs are step by step. I can't push forward too much when it's too early. So only now I was able to do it. Now I push the Silvia back and I'll show you what I have to do before I crack on the wiring room. Is this DSG job, because we have the engine in place and everything went in way better than expected, like you see in the previous episode. This is exciting. So now I'm working out exactly the position of the engine, and I have to tweak a little bit because this is Steve's car, and Steve has these poly bushes from a company that, in my eyes, they fucked up a little bit, because the hole over there is about, I think, 4 mil bigger than the normal size. So what we had to do, we had to re-drill the mount to match the hole. Now Steve contacted them and said, what the fuck, this is wrong. And so now this is normal, this is all good. It's like, well, it's not normal, because actually this is the size of the bolt that obviously is not as short, but the size of it that goes in a bush. Let's say this is a bush, this is a bolt, and this is what it does. I mean, this mount, or even the original one on the Toyota, it functions to keep the engine in that position. If you have that place, like, oh, just tie this strong and it'll be fine. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We drill this hole, so I have to put that on, so I have the exact position, exact relation of the engine, and then I can modify this mount. Now this mount, this is one of our original mounts that we supply with the engine mounts kit. This one originally goes on the Quattro gearbox and uses these 4 holes. This recess here, this collar is not. This is a part of the gearbox. I'll show you on the manual gearbox. It's slightly different, but you can see what I'm talking about. Is this, you see? Now, this is the original all-wheel drive gearbox. There's nothing there. There's actually space for the seats, for the obviously all the stuff. So our plate, actually I can show you on this one, mounts like this, and then your oil seal goes here, and the half shaft goes onto it, and it bolts with the 4 bolts. Now, because we have the gearbox collar going out, what I did, I've machined this out completely, and it grabs that collar, that gearbox collar, neatly, because that is 75.6 of a millimeter, and I machined that exactly to that size, and it just slides on the collar very precisely, and then we use 1 and 2 bolts. Why these 2? Because these are not needed anymore, plus they're not there, there's nothing to bolt them to. But this collar is actually probably stronger as hold everything than only these 2 bolts. And the rear bolts are still there, and guess what? They're in the right position and they are already threaded from factory. So all I had to do is just bolt it on, which is great. Now, position of these bolts, they have to be slightly different. Also, position of these bolts, they have to be slightly different. So what I'm doing now, I'm finishing this prototype. I'm gonna actually build it. It's actually gonna stay on this gearbox, I think, because once we have the prototype, we're gonna send it to our CNC machining guy, and we're gonna get another batch of these, because we have to make the new batch anyway, because we're running out of them, because they sell like cakes, and so there's gonna be a batch of the ones for the O2M gearbox, and I think within a couple of weeks top, we're gonna have these ones for the DSG gearbox, and possibly probably only for the front wheel drive one, which for now, which is not a problem because the front wheel drive ones, they are easier to find, they are slightly cheaper, and they are just more common. So common sense, use the front wheel drive ones. So the good news is that we can use the DSG pretty much now. Again, a couple of weeks and we should have new mounts in stock, so everything fits. So yes, instead of after this winter, beginning of the next year, we can already start using the DSG gearboxes with this. Is it a better gearbox? Again, no. I already explained this in the previous video. If you haven't watched it, have a go. They are different options. The normal gearbox, that one there, is preferable for some of the stuff. DSG is preferable for different. Track use, probably DSG. Road use, probably manual. But again, up to preferences. You can use the manual in the truck. You can use DSG on the road. Put them in the auto mode if you want to. Lots of stuff. Anyways, that's enough. We'll see you, well, on the next one.